Hello, welcome to Access. I'm Rob. Joining us is Dave.
Hello.
Dave, we've seen PlayStation 5.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Rob. It doesn't seem real.
I know, and the whole thing just blew me away. Like I've not been this excited for a long time.
Me neither.
For a long time.
We've dreamed of this moment for a very long time, as you say, and I mean, it's all sinking in, and it was just everything I'd hoped for. It was so good.
It didn't stop.
I couldn't believe it.
It did not stop. It was just another one, and we are going to rattle through them, Dave. We have got 26 PS5 games to talk about. Some of them we're going to be talking about for a bit longer than others. Some of them we're just going to be saying that was there and acknowledging it. But there is a lot to get through, and we're going to start where the presentation started, Dave, with a game that we saw running on PS4, which was Grand Theft Auto 5, but with confirmation that it is coming out on PlayStation 5 in 2021, an expanded, enhanced version of Grand Theft Auto 5, which is very exciting just to be playing the most popular, biggest open world game in history. It's coming to PS5. It's really exciting.
It's coming to PS5, and I mean, wow, the fact that game has now crossed 2 console generations speaks for itself about how massive and exciting that is.
It came out on PS3.
It's insane.
I always forget that.
It's insane.
I always forget that.
Yeah.
But we got to crack on.
Yep.
And I was like, I wonder if they're going to start. No, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I remember seeing that, like, we're going to Spider-Man straight away. Okay, bring it on. And then the next game, which we got to see a really good chunk of gameplay of, Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah, I mean, a numbered entry.
Full sequel.
A numbered entry, which, I mean, wow. Gran Turismo, it's now, it's been on every console generation, and well-deserved. It's an absolutely incredible, like, first-in-class game. It is the real driving simulator, and it's looking better than ever. I couldn't believe my eyes looking at the upholstery on the interior of that car. The light streaming through the forest. It's
my favourite thing to do. Every time there's a new console generation, it's like, what are the cars going to look like on this generation? And to instantly see what cars are going to look like on PS5, and cars always look ridiculously gorgeous in Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
And like you said, just the hubcaps.
Oh.
And the light flickering off the upholstery inside the cars.
Yeah.
And I liked the way they just went no nonsense with it. It was like, here we go. Here is a car driving in Gran Turismo 7 on PS5.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at it like, wow.
I thought that really set out the stall for the event as well. Just like, oh, by the way, we're going to show you some actual gameplay. There it is. It's good, isn't it? Looks pretty amazing. Are you excited? We're excited. Moving on.
Very excited. And the next game, it just didn't stop. The next game is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah, I know, Robin. How long is it before we say it looked like a Pixar movie?
It was straight away, wasn't it? I mean, you said it jokingly when we were watching the presentation together, but I feel that is the only way to describe how Ratchet and Clank looks. When you're describing something that is best in class, you have to go best in class, and it does look like a Pixar movie in motion.
I mean, the scale of the idea, the dimension, the moving through dimensions and portals and rifts within the worlds, it just like blew me away.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing, just in terms of the fidelity of how just everything looks while you're playing it. But then, like you said, just pop, you're in another dimension, and that really sort of rammed home, I think, more than anything else that we saw, just how powerful PlayStation 5 is when it's like, can you imagine on any other console generation just the processing and like how long it would take, and now I'm going to this place, bang, and you're just there. It's straight away.
It's the kind of like epitome of that thing of like, this just wasn't possible before. We could have had this idea before for this game, but it just wouldn't have been possible, and now it is possible. And it's like, one of the first examples of that, of like we're in a whole new world now. Like we the things that we're going to be seeing coming to PlayStation 5, it's like all the restrictions are off in terms of imagination, what creators can come up with.
I love it. I love the excitement of a new console.
I know.
It takes me ages to get over the novelty of how good things look. And we should mention, at the end of the Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart trailer, we saw a lady Lombax.
We did.
And it was all a bit weird. Like, Clank was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And obviously we're swapping between dimensions. What does it mean? We don't know. But I'm excited to find out. But we've got to get on with it,
Yeah,
Dave.
we have. Come on.
We saw, and then they just hit us with a load of really, really cool games. We saw a game from Square Enix called Project Athia.
Yes.
Which looked absolutely beautiful in motion.
Yep.
We saw a game from Annapurna Interactive called Stray, which is coming out in 2021.
That caught my eye, that one.
It just looked absolutely gorgeous. I mean, we're going to be saying this a lot through this video. Every single game they show, oh my god, it looked gorgeous. Obviously, we saw a game called Returnal, which is from Housemarque, who made Resogun famously and lots of other very good games.
PlayStation Access favourites, Housemarque.
Yes. As soon as it came on, I was like, "Oh, Nathan will be liking this."
Yeah,
and it looked like just beautiful. I mean, it had that kind of Housemarque visual vibe.
Yeah.
Look to it, and I thought, yes, it's just going to be one of those games that I'm just going to be like, I'm going to want to play this just so I can see what my PS5 can do.
Housemarque's just one of those names that deserves your attention. As soon as I see that name, you've got my attention, so I'm really excited about that.
The next game we saw, and we're talking about, PlayStation mascots here. We've had Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Sackboy. Sackboy's back on PS5.
Yeah.
In a new game called Sackboy: A Big Adventure from Sumo Digital, who made Little Big Planet 3. And now it looks like Sackboy has just been unleashed in this beautiful new 3D platformer that still has all of the magic you would expect from Sackboy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and magic is the right word, isn't it? I mean, Sackboy is just I can't this isn't a pun, but he's just soft and cozy and just feels like home. He's like a warm blanket, but he's not a blanket, he's sack. And it's just, but that the look, the sound of that game, it's the way you interact with the world, the way all these fantastical creatures are there, and everything about it. The whole world is completely fantastical. It's all, completely just creative and joyful. It was just really, really nice to know that we've got more Sackboy on this new generation. It just feels right somehow.
Totally. Like, we're only 8 games into this list of 26 games, and already we've got Gran Turismo, Ratchet and Clank, Sackboy.
I know. It's just
bang, bang, bang.
Like a wish list. If you could have written a wish list beforehand.
Let's get through these games, Dave. Yep. We've got Destruction All-Stars.
Yes, this really caught my eye.
We looked at it, we're like, this looks very, very cool. Just driving around destroying things. I remember you said, Dave, the destruction on this looks amazing.
Oh, I can't wait to find out about this, because it looks like something that's going to take the world by storm. It looks like the next kind of Rocket League, the way that has penetrated the world. I just feel like it looks really, really fun. There's obviously like a sport element to it. I'm just looking forward to finding out how it all works. It looks like the drivers can get out of the cars, like in the kind of battlefield, and there's all kinds of destruction going on everywhere. There's like traps. I don't know. I just can't wait to find out more about it.
We've also got Kena, not sure how you pronounce that, Bridge of Spirits, another
insane.
Very beautiful looking game. A game called Goodbye Volcano High, which looked unlike anything else we saw in the presentation, with like a beautiful art style and just the sheer variety of visual styles and gameplay styles on offer, I thought, throughout the entire presentation.
Oh yeah,
was
fantastic.
Just amazing.
Yep.
Moving on to a game that you're definitely going to want to talk about a bit, Dave, Oddworld Soulstorm.
Oh.
Abe is back on PS5.
Yeah, I mean, I feel privileged that I get to talk about this. I know that Rosie will be very keen to talk about this. Oddworld.
Rosie will be furious.
Abe's Odyssey, maybe my first great PlayStation love. I think absolutely, I could not stop playing Abe's Odyssey, and grew up with the Oddworld games, and to see Lorne Lanning introducing us to his like new vision. It looked so. I mean, first of all, starring Abe again, that's hugely exciting for me. And just the way it looked so Oddworld. It looks so the same, but also so like, you know, however many years on we are, like all up to date. The new, like, incredible amount of stuff that was going on screen. Very visceral, very kind of intense, actually. And I know how funny and fun those games are, and they're always quite dark. I'm just really excited to see how it all comes together. Oddworld always gets my vote, and I'm just so glad that it's back. I can't believe it. You know, with like 5 generations on, and Oddworld's back.
There's nothing else like it, is there? There really isn't anything else like it. Rattling on, we had a new game from Shinji Mikami, Ghostwire Tokyo, which is coming out in 2021.
Yes.
I mean, we've not got time to talk about, you know, all these games in great detail, but flipping heck,
I know.
A new game from Shinji Mikami.
Yeah.
And it looked every bit as out there and creative as you would expect from a man who's basically, you know, a master of his craft by now. We had a game called Jet, The Far Shore, which is coming out in 2020.
Yes.
Then we saw Godfall, the new game from Gearbox.
Yes.
We saw a game called Solar Ash, which is coming out in 2021. That's also from Annapurna Interactive. And then, just no big deal, Hitman 3.
Yeah, bam. I know. Oh, by the way, here's Hitman 3. Yeah, I don't know if you're interested.
Yeah, Hitman 3, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to find out more about that. Like, again, you know, just the way that they advanced the Hitman series on the PlayStation 4 was outstanding, and now a whole new console generation. What is Agent 47 going to be up to on PlayStation 5? I'm trying to think of the word that they used. I think that was it claustrophobic. It was something like that. Just instantly got my attention. Not enough to remember the word, but I'm just like, oh man,
well,
it's going to be amazing.
We saw him climbing I think it was in Dubai. Yeah. We saw him climbing some massive skyscrapers that were so big they were piercing the clouds.
Yes.
But the thing I noticed most was, and it's me looking at these nerdy little graphical things, the fidelity of the reflection on that helmet he was wearing.
I thought the same thing.
Like the visor, I was like, oh, that's PS5-y.
Yeah.
That's so PS5-y.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get reflections like that in games.
You just
that
don't.
looks
Okay.
So good.
Yeah, I agree.
Next, Dave, you got very excited as soon as Astro Bot appeared. Astro's Playroom is next up.
Oh.
And Astro Bot, if that's his official name now, he's just become sort of like the character who shows you what the new tech can do.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to be doing the same on PS5.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Astrobot kind of first arrived in Playroom when PS4 launched and was there to kind of show us all the new tech. And since then, Astrobot's had his own game in Astrobot Rescue Mission. And I absolutely adore this character now. And I love that game. And so I'm really excited to see that it's not going to be another Playroom for PlayStation 5. It's going to be a new Astrobot game, and I just know it's going to be so inventive and so much fun, and it's going to use all the new technology in the PlayStation 5 and in the DualSense to do just things that we haven't seen before. They're always so creative, so inventive, and so like just purely joyful. I honestly, that is one of my top games from the night. I can't wait.
I know, and it's no exaggeration for you to say that either, because I know how much you loved Astrobot Rescue Mission. So moving on, we had a game called Little Devil Inside, which I think took my prize for most unique looking game that we saw, where you basically play inside, well, it looked like you played inside the body of a man. Yeah. We then saw, and this is another thing I like looking at new generations, NBA 2K21. I always love seeing what the sports games look like.
Yeah.
And it looks like the sweat looks amazing on PS5.
I think we're going to see the sweatiest men we've ever seen. And who knows?
I am here for it. Next up, we saw a game called Bug Snacks, which is from the same developer that brought us Octodad, and it looked every bit as weird and hilarious as that.
No idea what to say about Bug Snacks. Yeah, insane.
Okay, Dave. The next game was a big one.
What was it?
We've seen what Blue Point Games have been working on all this time. It's a remake of Demon's Souls, which, if you don't know, is like the spiritual predecessor of the Dark Souls series. It's the game that From Software made on PS3 that preceded Dark Souls, and it's getting a full-on Blue Point PS5 remake, and it looks ridiculously good.
It does look ridiculously good, and I am extremely smug because I've never played Demon Souls, and now I will be, and it's going to be with completely fresh eyes. And you know, it did look insane. It looked so good. It looked so fantastical, and you know, just
dark,
just massive,
and evil.
Huge knights and dragons and castles, and just sign me up. I just don't know what else to say. And I'm so now, like I said, smug that I didn't ever play Demon Souls, and I get to experience it for the first time like this.
I remember it coming out, and like the bubble of conversation it sort of brought out, and everyone was like, have you played this game? Like, it's really hard.
It's really hard.
It's so good as well. And obviously then the rest is history.
Yeah.
We've had, you know, Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro and all these incredible games from Software.
Yeah.
The next game they showed, the new game from Arcane Studios, the developers who brought us Dishonored and Prey.
Yeah.
It's a game called Deathloop. Don't worry about it. Just an amazing looking, inventive, first person, stylish thing.
I mean, Arcane just can do no wrong. They've made just amazing games. They're, again, so inventive, the way that they use the gameplay mechanics, and it seems like, you know, in Deathloop they've brought this whole new idea, and they haven't quite revealed it yet. You know, it's like we're getting a sense that there's some kind of time looping mechanic that we're not quite, you know, it's not quite been revealed to us yet, and I'm really excited to see what that is, because as you said, in Dishonored and Prey, they just have this way of knitting together these different gameplay mechanics, and they kind of like let the player find out how they can interact and how you can use them. Deathloop's going to be no different. I'm really excited.
Just the 3 games left, Dave.
Oh, I'm sad.
The first of which we didn't realise what it was until the very, very end. It just turns out it's Resident Evil 8.
I remember that was great, because we were like, this looks good. Oh, this looks amazing. Wow. I mean, I was like, obviously, I'm not going to play this. It looks terrifying. And then there was that moment, classic Resi, where we were like, it's called Village.
Village. Oh.
Oh no, it's not.
They should have just left it. They should have just left it there and let everyone work it out.
Yeah.
But what I love about Resi is how at the moment it seems to just be constantly reinventing itself, and we've just got the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes that have just given us classic Resi. But everyone seems to have forgotten how good and how game-changing Resident Evil 7 was.
Yeah.
And it looks like Resi 8 is doing that again.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
And I'm really excited, actually. I think that's fantastic. What an amazing series when you can go right back to the start, well, almost start, with Resident Evil 2 and 3, remake them and herald them as being absolutely incredible, and then go back to the end with like, well, here's a brand new game. We've changed it up. And
Resi is on fire.
Yeah.
And has been absolutely on fire for the last few years now.
Yeah.
So Resi 8 I cannot wait. The next game we saw, we were all looking at this game like, flipping heck, this looks good and weird. It's a game called Pragmata, which we know very little about, other than the fact we saw a guy in like a weird futuristic spacesuit, a little girl, and they floated around in the sky. Gravity seemed to go out the window, and then they were in space, and then they were on the moon.
I'm pretty sure they tried to catch a falling satellite in a net at one point. It looked absolutely mad, and the scale of it seems crazy. And more than anything, I'm just going to go and have to look up what the dictionary definition of pragmatic is, because I feel like they could be linked.
Maybe. The last game we saw, Dave, I
remember this one.
They saved it. They saved the big punch till the end, and it absolutely floored me when I saw it. Horizon Forbidden West. The new Horizon. Aloy's back. Aloy on PS5. And we were just looking at this like, how how do video games look this good now?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't even know what to say. It's like, what can you say about this? It's so incredibly exciting. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the best PlayStation 4 games. A brand new IP from an amazing studio, PlayStation studio with such a lot of heritage with PlayStation. Completely reinvented things with Horizon Zero Dawn, and now, I mean, on PlayStation 5, it's just looking incredible. Though I don't need to tell you, Rob, those underwater scenes, that's all I can think about. That's all I can think about. It's just underwater.
It's just thinking about the scale of the world, and as soon as they started showing the game and we're moving across the water, then we saw those huge columns of rock just sort of thrusting out, and like the lush green, and I cannot wait to see where they take this game.
I mean, honestly, as you know, I recently got my platinum on Horizon Zero Dawn.
I know.
And that, that was a few months ago. I returned to it after a couple of years away, and it still took my breath away with how beautiful it was. And that is on, we're now moving to a whole new console generation. I just can't imagine what we're going to see. The incredible wonders. I mean, and it was fantastic in the trailer to see these landmarks. I saw the Golden Gate Bridge. I love that vision of what these places that we know from our world, what they might look like in this imagined future.
Yeah.
I love seeing that, finding the past, the way that the past permeates this kind of beautiful, lush world of Horizon. It's just absolutely incredible.
It is something else, isn't it? Like, and then it wasn't even over.
I know.
And then they showed us the PlayStation 5, and I think Jim Ryan said it best when he said this is the most striking design yet.
Yeah.
I'm sort of out of hype energy to even begin contemplating talking about PlayStation 5 as a thing, and I think we're going to save the console talk for another video.
Yeah.
This has purely been about the games, but we now know what PlayStation 5 looks like.
Yeah. It's so much more real now. It's really coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
We've seen it.
We have to wrap up, Dave, because otherwise we're going to talk all day about all these incredible games we've seen. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Please let us know in the comments what games you're particularly excited for. I mean, if you're like us, you're going to be excited for them all. But please let us know in the comments what you thought of the reveal of all these incredible games. And do stay with us, because we are going to have loads more on PS5 in the future.
For the players.